Now, as Europe endures this unprecedented heat wave, droughts are hitting harvests across the continent. EU member states have until the end of August to send their Commission their impact assessments. And joining us live from outside the European Commission is Euronews correspondent Brian Carter. Brian, can you tell us how has the heat wave been hitting and impacting European farmers?
Good morning, Tessa. Well, farmers across Europe are really bracing for one of the worst harvests in the last 50 years. We know that pastures across Europe have been terribly hit. Fruit and vegetable processors say that the crop yields this year could be down from 20 to 50%. So obviously there's a lot of worry in the agricultural sector across Europe. The European Commission has proposed some measures to mitigate that, such as advancing subsidies to farmers and also allowing them to use some of the land that normally they cannot use because of some of the green regulations across Europe. But environmentalists say that these measures are not enough and will actually intensify intensive farming, which is one of the causes of climate change. And to speak about climate change today, I'm joined by Jean-Pascal Van Ypersele. He's a Belgian scientist. He's one of the world's leading experts on global warming, and he's also, and he used to be the vice chair of the Intergovernmental panel on climate change. Mr. Van Ypersele, thank you for being with us on Good Morning Europe. This heat wave and the droughts that we're seeing across Europe, my first question, is that the consequence of climate change?
Well, it has certainly been intensified by climate change, and this kind of events, unfortunately, will become more and more frequent because of the global warming due to those emissions of greenhouse gases that we are doing.
You heard what the European Commission plans to do. Generally speaking, is the EU and member states across the EU, are they doing enough to try to fight climate change?
Well, not yet. You know, the plans that the EU has to fight climate change were prepared ahead of the Paris Climate Conference in 2015, and they have not been fully updated yet, 3 years after the Paris Agreement, which is a shame, and the level of ambition doesn't match the very objective of the Paris Agreement, that is to keep the warming below 1.5 degrees Celsius above the pre-industrial temperature if possible, or at least well below 2 degrees, and so the EU needs to do much more than what it has been doing up to now.
Indeed, and a new report says that we could be soon reaching some tipping points and that this 2 degrees rise in temperatures could actually become 4 or 5 degrees. So are we too late?
Well, we're not too late to avoid the worst case, but we are too late, obviously, to avoid the impact that we are starting to see now. I mean, climate change is starting to show its effects, and it's a stark reminder that the level of action needs to be much stronger than what we have seen today. We need to fully decarbonize the world economy, all human activities in all sectors, to get rid of fossil fuels as quickly as possible, and this requires a political will that we have not seen up to now.
Thank you very much. We'll have to leave it here this time. Back to you, Tessa.
All right, thanks for that, Brian Carter and his guest, Jean-Pascal Van Ypersele. Thank you.